Hello, my name is Mark, and you are listening to Cutouts. Welcome to Cutouts. My name is Mark, and on this episode, we'll be doing something a little bit different for me. When I first started this podcast, I didn't have anybody to talk to. I started reaching out to people, and some people got back to me, and eventually things started going well, picking up. But I kind of relied on friends in the beginning, and I called two people. I called my friend Eric of the Mostly Dead, and I said, "Hey, I want you to be on the podcast." And he's like, "Yep." So Mostly Dead was episode number 2. And then I called my friend Sue, and I said, "Hey, Sue, I really want to talk about Julie Trend." And she goes, "Julie Trend? That hasn't been a band for over 30 years. And I said, "Yep, but that's kind of what this podcast is about." So it took 3 years for me to convince her. James also helped. So I'll be talking with Sue and James of Julie Trend and of Mary Jane's. The Mary Jane's was their name before they were Julie Trend. About their 1994 EP and demo tape. I actually am including songs from both on here, so the levels might not be quite right. The demo tape's a little rough, but I've had it for I've had it for over 30 years, and that's sometimes what happens to tapes. This is a great conversation. I'm really happy that they joined me for this, and I've been looking forward to this for 3 years. So let's get into it. I would like to welcome Julie Trend to the podcast. How are you doing, guys?
Doing all right.
Just fine. Thank you for having us.
Excellent. Thank you for joining me. Let's do
Who's Julie Trend?
Let's do a little bit of background. We were talking about we're talking about two different things, actually. We're talking about a 3-song EP that you put out on vinyl in 1994, and then there's also a 3-song demo that you guys put out that I also want to talk about that came out before that. But let's get to a little bit of our backstory. Sue is on vocals and guitar, and James is on vocals and guitar. And you were both joining me. Phil is not with us. He's on bass, and John is not with us. He is on drums. and this is over 30 years ago. That's how long I've known you, because I've got this album from you, Sue. I'm pretty sure I either bought it from you or you gave it to me back in 94, 95. I would have spent the money for it, but I was pretty poor back then, so I'm sure you did me the favor. I know you gave me the demo, but the vinyl I got from one of you guys back in 1994. So let's talk a little bit about the history of the band. You are out of Philadelphia. You got together at Villanova University, both Villanova grads. I had a friend, the great John Dean, went to Villanova, and before I took like 3 years off between high school and college because I had to find myself. So I spent a lot of time up in Villanova. I would just drive up to Philadelphia and just hang out. And you guys were just kicking things off around this time in 93, 94. And John was friends with you guys, and I met up with you guys, and you're like, we're in a band, and it was right up my alley because it was all that shoegazy Britpop wannabe kind of sound. Let's get started with how you guys, as a band, got together, because Julie Trend is not the original name, but it is all the same members in what was before known as the Mary Janes.
That's right.
Correct. Yeah, James has the intel on how we found out the name was taken.
Well, even before then, I feel like go back to the very beginning, I love telling the story about how Sue and I even met in the first place.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I feel like there's something there that is kind of like important about, in terms of like what we wound up doing together. But and I could get this wrong, Sue, but you got to correct me if I do. But
Okay.
my recollection of it is, so I think it was the beginning of sophomore year. It was like the fall of 92.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to dinner one night, I think, at the dining hall there on South Campus. We both lived on South Campus. I'm walking up. You're wearing a Ride T-shirt. Is that right?
You were wearing the Ride T-shirt.
Well, I was wearing the Ride
we
T-shirt.
had the same Ride T-shirt.
I forget who had the shirt on and who said what, but somebody had the. I guess I had the shirt on, and that means that you were the one who was like, "Oh, you like Ride?"
Yeah, that's also how we met, or how I met Alan, because I'd see him running around with a 9 Inch Nails or a Ride T-shirt, and I'm like, I got to talk to that kid. This was our social media back then.
Yeah, the concert tee.
Yeah, like how you could find your group chats.
Your people.
Yeah.
So we must have both gone to see the that was Going Blank Again.
Going Blank
Again tour that summer. So Sue and I initially met and sort of bonded over our love of Ride and I guess all things shoegaze. And that's sort of like I'm not really entirely sure where it went from there, but basically we both hadn't gone to that show. We both hadn't bought that T-shirt. I mean, I'm sure we would have met each other at some point, but
Sure.
Like, that was our initial like meeting, and that became. I feel like this is like in some sense again like an important touchstone in some way for our development as a band.
It absolutely, and just like to have that exactly the touchstone of that identity of a genre, a very specific genre. Oh my gosh, and then from there on, James, we skipped class. I'm sorry, I ruined your sophomore year.
Oh, it wasn't your fault.
we skipped class to play like. Oh, we were terrible. Mom and Dad, don't listen. We weren't having sex. We were just skipping class.
Playing
guitars for hours on end. And for me, it was such a learning experience too. I was a beginner at guitar. It was something I just really wanted to do. And James, your patience, your just acute methodology, I learned so much from you, and thank you for being my first guitar teacher.
Well,
you guys are going to make me cry.
Oh, sorry, man. But yeah, it's interesting because I was I wasn't much more than a beginner guitar player myself. I mean, both Sue and I were musicians. We played in band, and
Yes,
played classical and
all of that. Growing up,
marching band and
marching band. That's a big
pep
one.
band. Yeah.
All of the bands from the second I could in public school get into band and chorus, I wanted to be in that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I had, I picked up the guitar in high school because my friend Dan Morrissey was learning how to play guitar, and like he wanted to be able to like practice his solo electric guitar stuff. So he was like he'd like hand me an acoustic and like show me 2 chords, and he'd be like, just play those 2 chords over and over. I'm like, oh, that's cool, yeah, okay. So I picked up guitar because my other friend was learning how to play guitar. I guess in some sense, Dan Morrissey was my first teacher, and then somehow, like 2 years later, I'm becoming Sue's teacher. I have no idea. We're both basically pretty much brand new at our instruments. I think
at the time, but it's interesting because not that you're not good at your instruments now, because you both are still playing music, and we'll get into that much later. But it's almost like when you have a wall of sound, when you're doing the shoegaze thing, when you're doing the jangle thing, you don't need to. You're not throwing down Randy Rhoads solos over everything. You're keeping it pretty simple, and that's you write a good song, you write a good hook, and that's kind of how that is supposed to go. Mm-hmm. So you guys are playing guitar, and Phil and John on bass and drums. How do they equate into this?
How did we meet Phil Stulik? I just remember him running down, what is it, Fetigan Hall with a Croatian flag, because Croatia, something had just happened that was very liberating in Croatia, and just came up and just gave me the biggest bone-crushingest hug. And he still does that to this day. And we just, he was a friend of Mara's, and just within the circle.
Right.
And come to find out, he's this bass player, huge ska fan. Mm-hmm. So he, he could play super fast. He could play tight, which was like perfect for us because of the pop punk sentiment, not just the shoegaze, but the pop punk. Like James soloed quite a bit in the band, but they're just very concise, precise solos. You're fit. We fit a template of like, let's do a 3.5 minute song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he solos on Velvet. There's the breakdown, and he's all over Velvet.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly. And Phil also has a lovely bass solo in it. So yeah, it's just like, I think that's what one thing that we did was give everybody their opportunity to shine.
I realized I was thinking about Phil's solo. That's what I forget that I wasn't even thinking about my solo. I was thinking about
That's what I was talking about was Phil's solo. Yep.
Thing. Yeah.
On the breakdown of Velvet, it goes right into he starts playing the bass
really
solo.
Good.
Yeah, and then I come in with that very shoegazy kind of surf rocky kind of like bendy guitar thing. It's interesting. You were saying before, Mark, about how playing the shoegaze stuff in your wall of sound, and you don't have to worry about playing Randy Rhoads solos. What I still kind of quite wrap my head around is that we weren't really a shoegaze band. I mean, we weren't really a pop punk band either, and we weren't a ska band. I mean, but we brought all of these things together somehow into something that I don't know really how to classify.
But here's the thing: is you aren't a shoegaze band. Obviously, that's what brought you two together, and I can hear those elements in here. I can hear that the guitar tones. I have another story for later on, but when I listen to, God, it's interesting how much output I have from you guys. When I listen to Volvic, Volvic is just 20 minutes of you just screwing around with the fuzz pedals. I mean, it's a shoegaze song. But it's. I'm just saying that the elements are there that make a part of it. And I also said that kind of Britpop thing because that's now it's the early '90s and that's becoming a thing, if it isn't already. But it's certainly taking shape. And those jangly guitars, like at the beginning of Velvet, it's all right there. So I don't think you're a shoegaze band, but certainly that is an element that you guys bonded over and then brought into the equation.
Yeah. That and like definitely the punk. Like John brought a lot of the punk. Phil brought a lot of the ska. The one thing we never entertained was grunge or anything like that, or like the Randy Rhoads soul.
Which is interesting.
Like,
grunge at the time, you would think you'd be all over it, but everyone else was.
I love it. Huge Nirvana fan. So, tons of grunge bands, all of that era. Like, was it 1991, the year punk broke? Like Sonic Youth.
Well, yeah, huge Sonic Youth fans.
So, and that was just like next level stuff. And I remember James, like, you figured out some crazy Thurston Moore chords and you were showing them to me. And I was like, whoa, my fingers got to do that to try to like play that song. Yeah. That was the whole thing. It was like we would listen to songs and like try to play them. I think that's one of the greatest ways to learn how to play guitar. Like honestly, try to emulate your idols. Do your best. Sit down and practice.
Well, it's interesting. It's so much fun. But the Sonic Youth thing, right? Like, I may be jumping ahead here a bit, but like our first show, right?
Yes.
What was the first song we played at our first show? We did a cover of 100%.
100%. Yeah, because
that was the very first song.
We could do that. Because we did a Breeders cover. Remember? We
Yep.
We did. We didn't shy away from doing covers. Like, covers is part of the process of learning how songs are structured. Like, it was just part of the educational process that, eventually you're going to be freed up from doing cover songs and can really focus on originality. And you get all of the puzzle pieces in place to become your most realized musician self. I guess that's the way I'm putting this.
But it's all very interesting to me. You both play music still. And again, we'll talk about that later. I've seen you play live with your band, James, and I've heard your stuff, Sue. I still wear the T-shirt all the time because it fits me. One of them didn't, so I gave it away. The other one fits me just fine. But what's interesting is that you're new guitar players. At this point in time, you're new guitar players. So certainly you've grown over the past 3 decades. But in this time, you are putting out a demo, being on compilations, putting out vinyl. I mean, it's so interesting to me that for people who are just starting out in their craft, this is what it is. And I talk to a lot of bands about. Well, I don't talk to a lot of bands. I talk to bands about what's going on at the time, and this is very interesting because you James sent a letter from Protein Records. And it cost was $1.80 per record in 1990. Per unit.
Retailing for $3.
Yeah.
Crazy. We don't know how. Let's go back to John because we don't know how he got into the group. I don't know how he got into the group.
From Phil, right?
I mean, probably, but like you mentioned, there was sort of a crew of people, and John wasn't necessarily at the center of our crew, but he was sort of like on the periphery. I forget who he was going out with at the time.
Mish.
Okay, yeah.
That's how.
That's probably how.
Exactly, like our group of the alternative friends that hung out in our the one area of the Connolly Center.
Yeah, right. The smoking section. Although neither John nor Phil smoked. But yeah, that was the other way. So not only do people bond over the the band T-shirts from whatever tour they happen to catch over the summer, but also if you were a smoker, you hung out at the smoking section of the Connolly Center, the student center, and that I met so many people there. Basically, all the people that a lot of people that worked at the radio station. A lot of other musicians. We were, because Villanova had a lot of Greek life going on. That was like the immediate social strata. And it just always rubbed me wrong. I'm like, I don't want to pay for my friends.
no, I don't like this. And I never went to a frat party. I think I lined up one time at the whatever Bartley Circle to go to a party. Like somebody had convinced me to, and then I was just standing there and like waiting for a bus and just all these people. And I was like, nah, I'm out of here.
But it was 25 cents for a solo cup. I mean, it was a good deal back then.
Yeah, wherever it was, the houses in West Philly, and the one frat had the crack house or whatnot. Just the lore of all of that. And gosh, this is in the early '90s, and things were probably a lot safer than you thought. I mean, yeah. I mean, Villanova. Look at it; it's a gorgeous campus. It's on the main line. It was a great place to go to school. Hey, we got the Pope. We got the Pope. Yes.
But coming back to John, I mean,
oh yeah, John.
Who knows? And I think Sue, you shared some photographs recently, and I don't know if you've shared those with Mark, but the ones where there was that one night where we got together, we were playing, we all, like in the basement of St. Mary's, we somehow got into the band room. There was a drum kit there. And we borrowed a bunch of guitars, and a whole bunch of us went down there.
Yes.
Phil was there.
John was there. Was not, Kevin, Alan, you, me, and I'm not sure who else was there because we were pictures. Somebody took the picture. Maybe it was Ferris who took the picture. He was probably hanging out with us.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so Alan was a drummer,
right?
And that's the other thing too. It's like, why wasn't Alan our drummer? But I guess it just didn't work out that way. Somehow, Milloway just wanted in on it, and Milloway's parents were so cool about it. That's how we recorded the first. Like, that was the whole thing. Like, there was no space for us to practice. Like, we petitioned the music department. Hey, we're not affiliated with the music program here. But can we borrow the band room when nobody's around? Whatever, we'll work with you. We'll rent it, whatever, and it was just kind of like I think we got that one night, and then like, for whatever reason, like the offer was off the table. And then we were just like soliciting dorms, like, hey, you've got some rec room, and we promise we'll only be noisy for 2 hours. And, it was like this whole thing to like just get a place to practice on campus.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like because we lived on campus, we didn't have that. We didn't have a place to go. John must have been a commuter, I guess, because I don't think he lived on campus. But
I don't think he did either. Yeah.
But I mean, like, we would have had to have found a car and packed a bunch of stuff in a car and driven 30 minutes or 45 minutes or something.
Who had a car?
Exactly. So yeah, it was tough finding those opportunities to even just to
get together and practice. So a lot of it was, James and I, sophomore year, skipping class, playing guitars, acoustic guitars.
In the room, yeah.
And borrowing guitars, borrowing pedals. Like, that was the whole thing. It was just kind of this lovely exchange among kids that weren't in bands, but like brought their gear and would let us borrow it. I mean, there were countless kids that let us borrow stuff. And I'm trying to remember too, like, wait, this is a Damascus question. Remember Christian, Mark?
Could you be more specific?
I forget his last name.
Christian Davis.
Christian Davis, yeah. So he had a band, and they had a song. What was it? Baptism in the Rain. Great title.
That sounds so familiar.
Yes, and they were sort of like, that band was sort of like the model of like, well, how did you guys like do this? Like, how did you find a place to practice and whatnot? And it was down, I guess, whatever, they just did loose jam sessions, kind of like we did, because it was so hard to have a consistent place, a consistent time to show up and work as a group. So it's kind of, you're right. It's kind of it's an interesting timeline. Like, obviously we were just so hungry and so obsessed. We were going to make this happen, whatever. And that's a testament to our ambition as newbies.
Yeah, we were so determined. And I remember I mentioned before about playing at Earth Day, but I remember that was like always like a thing.
That was the
like,
goal.
That was like our huge goal. It was like, we're going to play at the Earth Day Festival.
Yes. We're playing Earth Day. We're going to do this before we graduate. Also, we're going to play in a bar before we're 21 years old. And we did that too.
That's right. What was that place? It was somewhere on the main line somewhere.
We played with Kim Batching.
Oh, right. That's right. That dude played like the little jazz kit, right?
Yep.
And I had never seen anything like that. Yeah.
And they had the most beautiful Les Paul guitars.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was just like, and they were like 24 years old or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like they were a little bit older than us.
Out of college and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were working it. They were doing the circuit, you know, and it was like all of this, like, yeah, like goal setting, like, okay, we achieved this, keep going, you know, and how, yeah, it is like reminiscing now and remembering a lot of this now. It's quite remarkable how much we got done back in a day before we didn't have cell phones. How did we record? Somebody had a 4-track cassette player.
Well, I want to get to that. And I'm going to segue through that, Sue.
Okay.
Because I have the same question twice. It's actually two different questions, and I'm going to ask them both twice. So, how did you guys become the Mary Janes? Where does the name come from? I think we all might know, but at the same time, I'm making speculations, and I'm not going to do that. So, Mary Janes, you get together and you're like, we're playing Earth Day, for Christ's sake. What are we going to call ourselves? And someone comes up with Mary Janes. How does that come about?
It's a lot of ideas. There's the shoes, the candy, obviously weed. My mom's name is Mary Jane.
I didn't know that.
So it was, yes.
I've been calling her MJ this entire time.
She's not Michael Jordan. Yeah,
she's not. Yeah, she's not Michael Jordan. Yeah. See my.
Sorry. I mean,
I'm just getting the image now of my mom, like my mom doing like the Michael Jordan like brand logo like on the shoes, flying toward a slam dunk. That'd be awesome.
That's a new album cover right there.
That's a new album cover. Mom, come on. I know you just had shoulder replacement. Let's go. She's doing great. She's doing fine. She's doing fine. Thank you. I love your mom. We all love the moms.
Lots of Mary Janes there. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just sort of like this all-purpose something that sounded cutesy, like Velocity Girl, for example. Mm-hmm. You know, huge fans of Velocity Girl, and they were like, you know, Mark, as you know, like, you know, DC, like, you know, area, and they were like this aspirational local band.
Yeah.
Like that was like the next level. Like,
yep.
Oh my God.
They were on Slumberland, and then they got picked up by Sub Pop. And that was, you know, back when I was, again, post high school, before college, those couple years, all over the place. I saw them multiple times down at the old 930 Club on 9th.
Oh, the old 930 Club.
The old 930 Club. And
Super
you know what's funny?
sweet.
That's really what you guys sound like. That's a better call out than the shoegaze, is that you guys certainly have that Tonya Donnelly, Velocity Girl, Juliana Hatfield kind of sound. And actually,
absolutely.
I didn't even write that down for any of the influences here, but I should have, because now I don't know why that didn't pop to me before, but yeah.
I was thinking, not to harp on the shoegaze thing, but if you even think about like shoegaze stuff that we were like bonding over, like that Ride Going Blank Again record has a lot of very poppy songs on it.
Oh yeah.
It's not like Nowhere, which was like the super
correct.
atmospheric,
but then you get into Twisterella and all the much
song.
more
my God,
much more poppy.
Yeah.
That's such a good album too. Yeah. So you're the Mary Janes, and you are going to record a 3-song demo, and you're going to do that on a 4-track cassette. Absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And I know that because I have the cassette right here. It's on It's on Memorex, and it's not even labeled. Doesn't have your name on it. It's like if I lose this, I don't know how to find it again. But you've got a J card in here that someone folded up kind of nice.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually says, thanks for Tim for the 4-track. Tim let you borrow the 4-track.
Must be Tim
Tim
Bear.
Bear.
Yeah.
And everyone
Yeah.
who made this Neato demo possible. And it's still the two of you with Phil and John. So it's the same band with a name, and you come up with these 3 songs, which is Someone I Know, Let Down, and Tonya, which I always liked Tonya.
Oh, so good.
But the banger here is Someone I Know, because I will go into a little bit of the recording process for this, but that was actually on your EP as well, Someone I Know. Strong enough to carry over from the demo into the EP. But where are you recording this, and how are you recording this? Is it like we've got 12 hours in this practice space to record an album, an EP demo, whatever? Let's make this happen. Or how does this come about?
Yeah, we had 12 hours at John's parents' house, who were just that like the dream creative parents. Like they would let you take crayons and markers and draw on the wall. Like they were just all about this free expression and creativity, and that's how John and his sister were raised. And actually, it's John's sister who's on the cover of the 7-inch. I forget. Is it her name isn't Julie. I forget her name, but
that's on my questions
sister
as well.
Yeah, and she was just this super trendy, super cool girl. That look, her haircut, her glasses, the little choker, that look still looks contemporary, in vogue, so super hot, indie girl.
It is so inner
day,
city, 1994.
timeless.
Yes, exactly.
She just was a very stylish person like that, and she was the first person I knew that got her tongue pierced, and I don't even think she was out of high school.
Also,
anyway.
shout out to John's parents for being such free spirits.
John's parents just let us hole up, and we set up a couple microphones in, I guess, their front room.
It was in the living room. It was
living room.
In my mind, I'm picturing kind of plush carpet, like
Yes.
couches and like, puffy chairs and like in a dining room, like right
Yep.
next to it. Like
Yeah.
it was
Like just in the house,
in the house.
which oddly enough is how I rehearse today. But back to then. But yeah, setting us up and like, John's mom, like they'd pop in and like John's mom was like, like almost like soccer mom with like juice and snacks and, like they were just so happy to host these kids from Villanova to do this project. Like they were just immediate supporters. And it was just so wonderful that it was like, oh my gosh, your parents are so cool.
Is this live? You said you just set up mics and went, or was it? Because it's only on
vocals might have been overdubbed.
I think that was the only overdub that we did. But yeah, like back then, it was just like ready, set, go.
That's great. That's great. That basically you're setting up mics and whatever the mics pick up is the demo. Because this demo doesn't sound terrible for 1993. Seriously, it's something that you obviously put out, and it is. I would, if you had said, well, we bounced this track to here, and we had to take the drum tracks and bounce them down to 4, and the old school recording way of doing 4-track cassette. But everything's pretty clear here. Maybe not so much the bass. The bass might have gets drowned out a little bit, but the drums are clear and the guitars are clear. And Sue shouting into a microphone is clear because you're shouting into a microphone. It's actually, for a demo done on a 4-track, it's pretty solid stuff, in my opinion.
Thank you. Well, that's great to hear, and that like that the tape that you have hasn't corroded over the years. Like.
No, it hasn't. And so let me before I get to Julie Trent and the name change and the EP. I have Overblown is on the Julie Trent EP, but Au Natural and Volvic are also on this cassette that I made. It just says Mary Jane's 3 songs, but it's 3 songs is what you called your demo. But I have 3 other songs which are Au Natural's not on anything else. Volvic's not on anything else. And again, Volvic is 4 hours of you guys just pushing fuzz pedals, whatever it is. It's a long song. I was listening to it the other day, and I was like, I don't remember this thing never ending, but apparently it never ends.
It's me, got the feedback solo-y thing that happens at the end where, I don't know. Anyway, we were just making noise. Having fun.
But is this part of the sessions for the 3-song demo tape?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's why I ask it.
Yeah,
because what I remember. Sorry, Sue.
Yeah, go ahead, Jane.
You were asking if like all of the stuff for the 3-song EP was recorded at John's house in like 12 hours on the weekend or whatever. And in my mind, I know that. So I sing on Au Natural, and I know that those vocals rather, were actually recorded at that house in Ardmore where Shuckrow and all those dudes lived. So not everything was recorded at the same time in the same place, but I'm guessing that maybe we must have done like the initial tracking.
Yeah. At
John's house, and then maybe like again, I did those vocals on Au Natural later.
Later on, we had the 4-track. We borrowed Tim's 4-track, and
thank you, Tim.
And had the tape, and
because the sound is similar. The sound to Volvic and Au Natural is a similar raw demo sound as the 3-song cassette. Do you guys sell this at shows, or did you just pass it out to radio stations? I don't know what you did, because I know that there was a point in time where 2 things happened. You changed your name, and Protein got involved, and you guys recorded the EP as Julie Trent. So give me a little bit of background on the name change. There was a cease and desist in there, I'm sure. I've heard this story so many times.
Written on a napkin.
Where is
somebody passed James a note that said, "Hey, sorry to let you," or whatever. I'm paraphrasing. sorry to let you know this, but there's this other band that's already got the name the Mary Janes. And it was just like, kind of like, oh.
Yeah, I think I might have sent along a photograph of that note stuck in the sleeve of that record. I don't remember, but I think it was Ellen and Brian. I think at the radio station.
At the radio station, that would have been because the radio station was like the filter, the one place where I don't even know if Villanova even played us. Maybe John played us. I don't. Did you play us? Like
I'm sure I must have. Yeah.
The whole reason I wanted to get in a band is because I went to the radio station meeting because I wanted to be a DJ, and there were like 300 people there. Like we filled up like the chemistry hall, and it was like, you've got no chance of getting a show. And I'm like, well, I'm out of here. You know what? I'm going to start my own band. I'm going to play the music you're going to play on your radio station. Then I had like been chasing that white dragon ever since.
Well, you know what's ridiculous, though, is that, like, so we get this record with this note that says, sorry to tell you, there's already a band called the Mary Janes out there.
Yeah.
Like, they were, like, from New Jersey or something. Or maybe they were close by. I don't know. But, like,
yeah,
we could have still been called the Mary Janes.
We could have.
But here's the other part.
Mary Jane's PA or something.
There's no internet.
Exactly. It's so
That's
nobody
true.
knows anything.
Right.
Nobody knows anything.
But here's the other thing. I'm surprised that you guys weren't like, well, of course there's another band called the Mary Janes. There's probably 90 other bands called the Mary Janes in Texas and in Philadelphia, or not Philadelphia, that's where you guys are from Boston and Cali and whatever the case may be.
I'm sure.
So it's a pretty ubiquitous name to be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for some reason we were like, oh crap, we got to change the name.
And John just blurted out one day, Julie Trend. That's what we're going to be. And we were like, all right.
Is that okay?
Like
We
need a new name.
Our recollections are different, but
different.
That's why I like having more than one person on a show.
Because maybe, and like my other recollection was like somehow just the opposite of what actually happened. Maybe the opposite of what I'm thinking of happened. So there's a few things. One, there was a friend of ours named Julie. Whose last name I cannot remember.
Trendvaku.
Was that her name?
Yeah,
and she married
Hayden.
Oh, okay. But she was like super cool.
Yes. Oh, yeah. She was definitely the trendiest, most fashionable. Like, actually, like John's sister resembled her quite a bit. So yeah, like that's why, she had the greatest just style.
Yeah. So I don't remember what she looks like at all. But I just remember her first name. I remember she was very hip, and we all kind of looked to her like as somebody who was super trendy.
Yeah, she was a leader.
So you get Julie,
in that.
and you get Trend, and yeah, maybe John shouted it out. But in my mind,
he did.
This name was always basically about her.
About
Julie Pravacchio. Yeah. You're right. Her last name was
Pravacchio. I can't remember exactly. Megan Murphy's roommate. Shout out to Megan Murphy.
Oh, we could ask Megan Murphy. She might remember.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to everybody. Ellen, Mish, Christina,
Mara. You mentioned
Mara. Everybody, all the girls, everybody. Gosh, who did not show up at the reunion? Sorry, we missed you at the bar. I'm still harboring a little bit about that from last summer. I'm like, you came all the way here and didn't go to the reunion. Anywho,
so yeah, my recollection of the name, the genesis of the name is a little bit different. But yeah, it could have been. I don't even remember who said it, but yeah, it could have been John. Could have been about Julie. Might not have been. I don't know. But it also just has like that very kind of 90s, like indie kind of sound to it. Julie Trend.
It does.
And doesn't really mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything. And then like Kathleen Hanna picks up on a Julie later on, what is her band? Julie something. That's the whole thing. Like the name Julie en français, or like jolie, like means pretty, like, so.
Founds Wayne had a song called Hey Julie. I mean, it's everywhere.
Hey Julie.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. I have a cousin Julie. Julies are everywhere. So it's a great name.
So and that's I'm glad that it's not the Julie Trend. It is Julie Trend.
Julie Trent.
Julie Trent.
This person that leads the style, that is the Anna Wintour of your dorm.
Yeah, I think as you say that, I think that was kind of like the basic idea too, is like kind of cutting edge, or I think of the word now, but the idea was this like forward kind of thinking. Julie Trent is not necessarily about Julie per se, but is about this this person who's like hip and pushing the envelope or whatever, and is sort of in the vanguard or something.
Exactly. Somebody you look up to, somebody like you take notice of. They're just always like one step ahead of everybody else.
Which as you say that, I'm thinking, man, did we have like some kind of ego? We basically.
Jake,
of course you did.
We play in
You're
bands.
sophomores in college. Of course you did.
It's all look at me. I'm in a band. Come on.
Yeah. So I never thought of it that way, but
it really is, and that's the whole thing. Why should we ever have stage fright? Because you're like, look at me.
Yeah. You shouldn't be in a band. Yeah, if you don't want people to be watching. I love performing. I love being on stage, but.
I know. You're really, really good at being on stage, James.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if I would agree, but
I'm really good at being upstaged, which is different, but similar. So here we're okay. So now we're Julie Trent, and we're over here now, and there is Protein Records, which is out of not Philadelphia, but out of Pennsylvania, and
Harrisburg.
Yeah.
That's right. You actually sent a letter earlier today, James, which I'm really glad you did, because I was reading this and I was like, oh, this guy's telling you his whole life story. But it's interesting because here's all these bands that I already put Cuisinart in my want list from Driver UFO, because now I want to hear what that sounds like. But
Buddy Severus was great.
Buddy Severus was awesome.
All these bands. So, but you weren't contacting each other, and it's a letter. It isn't even. There's no email. You could have. If he put his number, you could have called the guy. But it's a 2-page letter typed out, single spaced. And this EP is not what you guys were talking about. What I'm gathering from this is that you were going to be on a comp. Based on, and you eventually were on a compilation, a 4-song EP that was based around bands from Philadelphia, and then he had another comp that was bands from the Pennsylvania at large, and he's put out those as well. So the first thing you guys released after the demo was this compilation, the song for the compilation. And what song was that you put on the compilation?
Velvet, actually, I think is the one on the comp.
Okay.
And that's James. James came up with that one. That you just, I remember the day you were like, Dan, I was like, ooh, that's nice.
I think we're far enough into this episode that I can say that of all your output, that is my favorite song.
Oh, cool. Velvet.
The guitar at the beginning, and then John doing that cascade fill, and it just all blows up, and that's where the shoegaze element comes in, because you've got this guitar just with the wall of sound, and that fill solo, and the breakdown, the bass. That's my favorite song by you guys. But what's interesting, so that was on the comp, and then somewhere along the line, someone said, "Hey, let's do an EP." And how did that come about?
Well, okay. Let's step back for a second.
Let's step back.
Step back for a second.
Because there's something really important that happened before even Protein approached us.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I want to know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about our first show at Bryn Mawr College.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But you go first.
No, talk about that. Well, okay, it might be related, because I cannot remember how we made the connection with the Protein guys in the first place.
They were at the show in Bryn Mawr.
There you go. And the show in Bryn Mawr was?
We opened for the Swirlies. Our first show.
Yep.
We opened at Bryn Mawr College for the Swirlies.
I wrote that down. I was at that show.
Like, talk about getting spoiled green room pizza. Like, every show will be like this from here on out.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw them open up for Swirlies. Did I say I'm opening for Swirlies?
Yeah.
That was 30-something years ago. I don't know if that's true.
It is true.
Because what I
It's very
remember,
true.
here's the story that I want to bring up. I remember, I know you went up there, Sue, and you might have gone up there, James. Somebody went up there with you, Sue, and you asked Swirlies how they got that crushing guitar sound. Do you know what they said? Do you remember what they said?
I don't. What do you remember?
I don't. I remember wanting to know that, but I don't remember the answer. They did a lot of whammy bar stuff.
Turn on your fuzz, and then you have a wah pedal. You turn that on, and you turn it all the way up, and everything just goes.
Oh, right.
That's all it is.
That's a Jay Mascis trick too. I was a huge Dinosaur. I still am a huge Dinosaur.
Aren't we all?
Like,
Yeah,
he would love
for
to
sure.
do that. He'd just go, wow, especially like.
But I remember
Let it loose.
you guys asking them that, and that was his answer. And I was like, and that, again, this is all coming flooding back to me. I was like, I'm pretty sure I was at a Swirly show, and they asked him that question. I'm so glad you verified that actually happened, and it wasn't some fever dream when
No, that's totally the question we would have asked because it's interesting. One reason why we weren't a shoegaze band was because I didn't have a bunch of pedals.
Yeah.
We
didn't have a lot of pedals at all.
Yeah, we didn't really. I think I used a chorus every once in a while and distortion. But so I had none of the fun stuff to be able to make that kind of noise. But yes, I definitely. That's definitely the kind of question we would have asked.
So that show was before this came out.
Oh
yeah. We made the Norristown tape, and Phil knew somebody at Bryn Mawr.
That's right. Okay.
And got it into the hands of whoever, the radio station or the booking, the social club or whatever it was at Bryn Mawr, and we were booked, and we couldn't believe it, and we're like, and holy cow, like. I just also remember being like super freaked out because this was like a real show. Like there were a lot of people. Like this wasn't like James and I, since this, first show ever have played, to audiences of 2, like it happens, just in all of the different bands and acts that we've been in through the years. But yeah, like. I just also remember being like really kind of freaked out, like, oh my God, this is the biggest taste of this, and it's the first one I'm getting, and wow, chasing this white dragon even more.
Yeah, it was like legit,
Yeah.
And now we
show.
love the Swirlies. It was like, holy crap.
Yeah, we love the Swirlies.
Yeah.
We were fans of the Swirlies. Like, could not believe like we're hanging out with them.
I had the T-shirt again. I had a Swirlies T-shirt I used to wear all the time.
Yeah, it was like sitting in a green room and just being like with the other bands and being like, oh my God, is this what it's like? And yes, it is. It is like that. It really is.
So now you're.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, as I say, so one of those guys must have been at that show.
Well, that's
Yes,
exactly what I was
the
going to
guys
say.
were there.
That's how they contacted you. They're like, oh, hey.
They came up to us after the show, introduced themselves, said that they were working, they liked our stuff. And I guess, we exchanged addresses.
Okay. Yeah. So what I noticed in that letter, which I came across when I was moving, 6 months ago, I didn't realize it first, but I see the first line is something like, oh yeah, I remember you guys. So it's my P.O. Box, 3371, Kennedy Hall.
Yep.
So we must have talked about the comp at the show.
Yep.
And then I must have sent a letter to them saying, hey, remember us? Remember talking about the comp and all that? We'd probably said, we'd love to do it, yada, yada, yada. So then...
Because he brings it up on the second side. The whole first side is him giving you the rundown of what Protein Records is. And again, this is single-spaced on an Oki Data dot matrix printer. And
no, I thought it was typewritten.
It might have been. I'm being funny. But yes, it's
typewritten, and which is such a Steve Albini move.
Totally. Oh, it's so Albini, yeah.
Yeah.
But then on the back it talks about the EP, the Fearsome Foursome, and America Starts Here piece.
Right, which ultimately actually became Philadelphia Freedom.
Freedom. Mm-hmm.
Not Fearsome Foursome, yeah.
That's right. Like, being part of this collective of local bands and, like, it just really, it felt really special to be like selected like that. Like, it's like just so new and young and like, but we had set forth these goals and we were achieving them. And that I think was like just some of the greatest satisfaction out of it. Like certainly getting a physical product, playing Earth Day, just, yeah. And I think, yeah, leading up to our very last and most disappointing show was a block party that got shut down before we got to headline it.
By the cops?
If I recall that right. Oh, I'm trying to remember where this was. It was somewhere like suburban Philadelphia, block party. And like, we were like arguing with the cops, like, we just have a few songs. Why?
Oh, we may be jumping ahead. But at some point, I left the band.
What?
That's true. Yeah,
Tim
that's
Bayer
true.
actually
This
played
is
guitar
Tim Bayer did replace James
at the very end.
At the very end.
Yeah, so
That's
I'm not
true.
even sure if that show. I don't even know what year. I wasn't there for that.
That you're right. That was at the last show, and that was with Tim. Yeah,
For the record, if he was there,
that's right. That's a painful point to talk about, but I guess we should talk about it.
well, we can talk about it in a second. Let's
Sorry, we're
gonna
jumping
go.
ahead, yeah.
Let's go linearly. But also, I just want to say I wasn't there. But James, if you had been there, the cops pretty much would have let you play your set.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, because I've got away with the law enforcement.
They're like, Jimmy Goodtimes is here. Come on now.
Exactly.
So the letter that you sent me, it was a good read. It's fun to read. 30-plus-year-old letters that you're getting about how you're going to be doing record contracts, basically. It's going to be $1.80 per, and this is what you get this much
deal.
of it. But he mentions, is it Lemoyne?
Lemoyne?
Lemoyne, Pennsylvania is where he was, and he offered you the recording studio in Lemoyne. Is that where you recorded this?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So
so much more polished, obviously, and it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, that was in their basement, basically at their house.
We went out for a weekend. Somehow we fit everything into John's hatchback. Do you remember this, James? And we had car trouble getting there, and or we got a flat tire or something.
You're supposed to. It's not a good story unless the car breaks down.
And then there was also engine trouble with this ancient car, and there was some sort of canister of some sort of accelerant or something.
Yeah, okay.
You remember this?
It's coming back.
Yeah, we finished the weekend recording, and we're just like, oh, thank God we're not having any more car problems. And then somehow this canister of whatever it was, whoever was in the front seat, somehow was stepping on it or something.
Kicked it or something, yeah.
All of a sudden the car starts smelling like chemicals, and we're like, oh no, and everybody's getting woozy, roll down, couldn't figure out what was going on. To be like, oh my God, it was the stuff that we used to start the car last time. Who kicked the lid off?
It's like something you would spray in a carburetor or something.
Yes, carburetor spray. Yeah, it was a necessity to keep this car going.
How far away is that
for
from
the
Villanova?
2 hours it was 2 hours, I think.
It's out by Harrisburg, so
under 2 hours from Villanova. Yeah, you take the main line out, and under 2 hours. But still, it was just it was harrowing to get there. We had issues, and then thinking you're all done, and on the way back, and then just how we were all chemical high from this. Oh my God!
It's interesting. I was going to say the reason I have a friend who does interviews for major music magazines. He's been doing it for years, but it's all on the page. And that's fine, because that's what things have been going for, the last, when was the printing press invented? The last couple 100 years. It's all on the page. But I love talking with bands because of this, because everybody has a different recollection of what happened, and there's always something that happened. And I love that. Also, I know that both your memories are getting jogged left and right by each other, and I love it. I'm here for
It's
it.
true. That was also one of my reservations about doing this, Mark, is I'm like, how much am I going to act like? Some of it is so packaged up, the good, the bad.
You are doing better than most, Sue.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I wish it would be fun if Phil and John were here, because to
True.
get their recollections too, like
Of it all. Yeah.
but no, it was a pretty amazing time. We harrowing journey there and back. I remember my memory is very hazy, but they also, I think they had like a pet pig. Do you remember this?
I think they
so
did.
like it was running around the house, this little cute
Like a little
pig,
like a little potbelly pig or something.
It's a tiny little pig running around the house. And we must have just, the letter says, we've got a couch and some futons.
Right. It says that.
So, we brought some sleeping bags and,
we crashed
out
there
over the weekend, recorded in their basement. I have no idea how, I don't have any of the follow-up letters, so I have no idea how we arranged any of that.
Obviously,
how it all came to be.
According to the letter that you sent me, that he sent you, it was like a split thing where it's you get this many records, and he keeps the bulk of it, and he sends them out to record stores, and he sends them out to radio stations for play, and then you get the rest so that you can recoup some of your stuff back on what is that? The actual letter?
Yeah, I'm looking at the letter right here. So it's like, I was curious too, because it's several dudes. One of whom, however you say this. So Kyle.
Yeah,
Hetrick.
Kyle.
He's the one that writes, but Kyle, Brian, and Scott, those are the three guys that ran the Protein label. And so let's see. Here we are talking about the records. Oh, got it. The song has to be 3 minutes or less so they can fit
for the comp.
2 songs on each side for the comp.
Yeah.
They'll press 1,000 copies each band. We get 50.
That's ambitious.
Yeah.
That was so. How many of these were? So let's go back to for the comp. He presses 1,000. He gives 20% of the bands. That's 50 for each band. And you sell them for $3, and you're making a little bit of money on them. But how many of these were pressed, and how many? Because
I believe for Julie Trend it was only 500.
And you got 20%
I think
of that.
It was like the minimum. That was the minimum order. I think that's like a constant minimum order to this day for vinyl.
Yeah, what's weird too is that like we may have gotten
maybe you do 100.
So 20%. Hold on, let's
all
run
changed.
these numbers again.
It's all changed. All right, let's do them. Get out the calculator.
Let's run the numbers.
Let me ask AI real quick.
So if they do 1,000 copies, right?
It's 200 to you.
Would receive 50.
Put these
each band is 50 because 200 would go to the bands, and there's 4 bands.
He keeps 80% of the copies. But that's why I was wondering how many of these were printed, because if there's only 500, not only 500, a lot of bands only put out 500.
100 would have been 20%.
100 would have been 20%, and I hold one of them.
That is actually where the tension point came with, where we did have to cough up money to cover some of the expense.
What happened? Yeah. Okay. So this is where the story takes a dark downturn.
The dark turn.
But before we go there, I just want to say that to this day I still have like 10 copies of the Julie Trend free song EP.
Well, they're worth $35 on Discogs.
I found that to be bizarre. I actually looked that up too. For the record, if you go on Discogs, the pictures of the album cover, that was my contribution. I put those up on Discogs.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Because it was blank.
Appreciate
it was on there, but there was no pictures. And I was like, I don't want anything in my collection that doesn't have a picture.
Well, we want everyone to buy from the source. So contact James.
Oh no. I don't know. I don't contact the Protein guys.
Or that's
Protein's
another good question. Where are they now?
Protein's not a label anymore, are they?
Well, they have a Bandcamp.
They have they're like there's somebody, I don't know if it's maintained or not, but they're like somebody had like, or maybe just sort of like nostalgia, history preservation, like threw it up there. I don't know how. I I was aware of that. Maybe even some SoundClouds. I'm not sure.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah,
you were talking about having to cough up money, and I don't want to open any wounds with the protein guys, but I don't know if that became a sore spot, and that's why. This is the only thing you put out on protein. They put out a pretty good, 12 EPs, 15 EPs in their lifetime. I don't think they're around anymore. But is that something that you were kind of like, well, screw this. We're not money. We don't want to spend money on this.
No, it was actually very clear what if you want to call it a contract. I mean, it was just a handshake, like what they were willing to do, and if you want to do beyond this is going to be on you. So, and that became a tension point in the band, where I sincerely apologize to James again and again to this day of not having more grace and patience, and was just so like hyper ambitious and too focused on this project that honestly we graduated and then like everybody left anyway in a weird way. But that James was a student and who was also working his way through school, and how hard that is. That I was very lucky that I did work during school, but it was to pay for my guitar habit, my pedal habit, my record buying habit, my show going habit, not to pay for anything more than my books, school wise. So yeah. And James is such a brilliant scholar. Villanova is so lucky. But yeah, that's always been a sore spot for me to reflect on, like being angry about money. I've learned a lot since then that money should not get in between people. There's always a way to figure it out. Don't cut people off because of money.
But you're both here.
We're here,
and that's the testament.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
That's
how many
the
bands
testament.
have we been in, James?
Right. Well, we'll get it.
Number.
It's also a future question as well. I'm going to reel this back in. Thank you for sharing, Sue. You're amazing. So let's talk about your guitar habit and your pedal habit. So you're recording this because you've been, and I'm sure that your guitar collections have grown, but at this time in October of 1994, in a studio in Lemoyne, did I say that right?
Lemoyne,
Pennsylvania.
Lemoyne, Pennsylvania.
What are you playing on this record?
Ooh, I know.
That's why I'm asking.
I am playing my pearlescent Squire 2 Stratocaster with my Diodario chorus pedal and my Diodario delay pedal.
Do you still have that guitar?
I do, and I still have both the pedals.
Awesome.
Nice.
And in fact, I've been using the chorus pedal of late. So just a little segue to the future.
And what were you playing, James?
Well, that's a good question because I also had a Squire. And I think mine was the Squire 1. It was not the Squire 2.
Was it
black and white?
Black one. Yep.
But I don't think that's what I was playing. I remember playing an all black guitar. And I don't know, for some reason I want to say it was John's guitar.
It might have been.
Which would be weird because I think of John as a drummer, not as a guitar player. But I don't think I was playing my own guitar on that recording. I was playing somebody else's guitar.
Because it was like a full Strat or like a full Telly or something.
It was it was a much better guitar.
Guitar.
Exactly. Yeah. So I borrowed somebody's guitar for that. Pedal-wise, I mentioned before I didn't really ever have a lot of pedals. I had the chorus as well, the Diodario chorus pedal.
Mm-hmm.
I must have had some kind of distortion pedal.
I think we used overdrive just through the amps, I had
exactly.
the PV
Foot
that I
switch on the
had at the
pedal.
time.
Yeah.
That came with the switch.
So the PV's providing the
overdrive.
distortion, and you're just switching it on and off.
Well, I bet you I was
just an
borrowing
overdrive.
I bet you I was borrowing Shuckro's twin reverb. I remember borrowing that for various
yeah.
things. I think he had a twin reverb, something like that.
Oh, that's why I
hulking
got a
thing,
twin
really heavy.
reverb. Oh, huge and awesome. I wish I still had that. I love the twin reverb. That's just a great amp, combo amp. Yeah.
I think I might have been playing something like that, again, borrowed. I didn't really own my own gear. The amp that I would normally play for at practice was this tiny little, like, I don't know, it's this tiny little thing. The speaker must have been like a 6-inch speaker or something.
Like,
it was
yeah,
literally meant
practice
just to
amp.
play like by yourself in a room.
Sure.
I would be using that thing in our band practice, trying to like
It cranked all the way to 11.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just didn't, and it had a little button on it that you would push to go into overdrive mode. So I basically played all borrowed gear.
And that's okay.
Except for,
I've done plenty of that in recording sessions. Seriously.
of course, yeah.
You bring a bass and someone's like, "Oh, try this 1974 jazz I have." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
This sounds a lot better than what I'm playing through."
Exactly. Yeah, I wasn't above playing somebody else's stuff if it was better, you know.
But I
And I must have had a delay pedal too from someone, because there's some delay I know on
I
film.
think
there.
Anthony Ippolito lent
Oh, maybe.
us. Yeah, he lent us gear, and he
Oh, yes,
had
you're
one of
right. He did.
the Roland, like the three. It was what I don't even know what you call that. Like it has 3 pedals on it, like a little unit like that, and you could. I think it was like chorus delay and something else, reverb.
It's like the
maybe?
multi-effects pedal.
Yeah.
I think you could even like choose which effect. It had
You
like more
wanted
than 3
yeah.
effects, and you could be like, I want this pedal to be this pedal to be this, and this pedal.
But what's funny is that's kind of, I mean, that's very today. That's old. It's old news. But back then,
Yeah.
back in the late '80s and early '90s, that kind of technology was like, oh my God, I can do this. I can bring one pedal and then just swap them out.
Oh gosh, I mean, pedal boards today, like I like on Reddit, like there's like pedal board, subreddits, and that's a whole thing too. Like I have been through, I have quite the collection now, but yeah, just how you can go down rabbit holes of sound and experimenting with it, when actually sometimes I think one of those little multifunctional units where you can just like dial it this way and program it this way might do the exact same thing.
Well,
I don't know. It's boutique stuff or no?
As a synth player, I have a synth and a synth and a synth right here in my studio, and they're all self-contained units. But why the hell have I spent thousands of dollars on modular? I mean, I got 6 filters that all do the same thing. You can have 6 chorus pedals and they're all going to sound different. Same with my filters. It's just everything's got its own sound. So you just collect and you find the sound that's right. So I get it.
Yeah.
I've never been a gear person though. Like to this day, I've got nothing.
That's not true.
It is true. I only recently bought a Rat pedal. I only
You
bought that
finally got
because
a Rat?
I bought a Rat pedal and I bought a delay pedal.
Which delay pedal?
Oh.
Oh crap! I don't even remember who makes it.
Not a Boss like.
No. It's a new school. It's more like an Echo.
It's funny. The band you're in now,
Those are nice.
I don't hear the Proco Rat lending itself to what you're doing in the band you're in now. But we'll talk about that in a second.
That's a sizzly pedal.
Point is just that, like, I never had gear. I still don't have gear. The guitars I was playing were like $100 guitar. Even after that, like the next guitar I bought after that, I bought at a pawn shop for $50. And I still have that guitar. It's a Teisco Del Rey. It's a piece of crap. Can't stay in tune for anything. But so I'm like on the opposite end of the spectrum. I had like a guitar and a pedal, and I'm like, I'll borrow all sorts of stuff to make some fun little setup. I never had that obsession, or whatever you call it, an addiction, a guitar addiction. What'd you call it, Sue?
Chasing the White Dragon, James.
Her habit, her guitar habit.
Guitar habit, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the habits.
We touched a little bit on the artwork for this. Whose design is all this? Because I have a question about the back of this.
Yeah, I think it's John.
Oh, I think it's John.
John is on the front and the back. Now the interior was a collage I made of Anne Margaret.
It is Anne Margaret.
Yeah.
I don't know who's above Anne Margaret.
Oh, it was just, I'm not sure. Oh, wait, that's Phil's. Okay. Oh, that's some supermodel that I was obsessed with.
And then underneath is Anne Margaret.
Yeah.
On the back, there's the song titles, and and again, this is 1994, so this is some high tech stuff on the Commodore 64. Or whatever
James,
you guys
that
ended
must
using.
have been you.
No, this
wasn't you.
me.
Are these the actual
the,
songs? Are these the actual waveforms of the songs?
I do believe they are.
That's
Maybe.
great.
Really? This would be news to me. I've never even really thought about it.
I do believe that's true.
Oh, I've thought about it for a while, even before we had this conversation, because I was like, if those are the real waveforms, that's a very cool thing to do. I don't know if I've ever seen that on another record.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
It could be. I have no, and I do think it's John. I think John did a lot of stuff.
John did it.
And, pull up the 3-song EP, the Mary Jane's EP.
Uh-huh.
He did the graphics for that too. That's a total Black Flag ripoff.
I was going to say that. It looks, it's a very Black Flag ripoff.
Because he was the punk dude, right? So he brought that kind of aesthetic, and like even the Julie Trend record is got a very punk kind of feel to it, you know.
Yeah.
black and white. Yeah, this sort of like very austere kind of design. There's not a whole lot going on. But then, there's a weird kind of techie, glitchy thing happening in the back with the waveforms.
But it's also a techie, glitchy thing on the. It's almost like it is 1994. Windows 95 isn't even out yet. The lettering, the lettering is just blocky. It's just
totally.
It's all done. It's almost like it's typed up on a computer and then someone blew it up and it's like, oh, the resolution's terrible on this.
I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's all pixelated because it was all low res. We're doing this on computers that, like you said, before Windows 95.
It was before Windows 95. So you're using a 3.11 for work groups or whatever the hell you're using.
Exactly.
On a 286.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
You mentioned before that how many bands have you been in? So I struggled to find Lupine because you guys were in Lupine together after Julie Trend, and I have that somewhere. I'm pretty sure I had it on tape. I can't find it on. I mean, I've got hundreds of tapes. I can't find it, but I also was wondering if maybe I had it on CD, and I've got more than hundreds of CDs. So I have no idea where it is, but I know the music of Lupine. Tell me a little bit about. You don't have to go into too much, but tell me a little bit of the transition from Julie Trend into Lupine.
Well, you're missing
a huge chunk of time in between these bands.
Yeah, but I don't want to bring up any hard feelings.
You're also missing another band that we were in together.
We were in a whole other band together before that, but back in Philadelphia after we had graduated.
Okay, what was that band called?
It was called Period 3, and we played with our friend Owen Johnson, who's a fantastic guitarist, multi-instrumentalist. And we were we were really into a lot of Chicago bands at that time. We were really into like Tortoise and June of 44. Five Style, Sweep the Leg Johnny. Like Chicago became like the next goal. Like that's where it's happening. Like Philadelphia, like what bands did we have? Like Stinking Lizaveta and the dude playing Frying Pans. Like it was
the
like
Interpreters. I love the Interpreters.
The Interpreters and Almighty Isis. Like I'm trying to remember. Like it's so funny. Just like it is jogging my memory now. Just talking about this stuff, like what the Philadelphia scene was, and where we kind of felt like not trapped, but that we couldn't even find. Like we just had to get to the place where it's bigger. It's a bigger pond. Where it's going to be more competitive. Just raise the level for yourself. Just keep continuing to achieve personal bests. And Chicago became this goal for us, and that's when we moved to Chicago. And so anyway, we did the Period 3. I believe James is not thinking, but anyway,
Period 3. That was crazy. We had
math rock. We were doing math
exactly,
rock.
And we would switch instruments.
Yeah,
this was a 3-piece. We'd switch instruments. There were no vocals. I don't think. Nope, it was purely instrumental.
It was purely instrumental. That was the other thing too. It was a real departure from like being in a pop punk band. Like we just where we were influenced, what we were loving at the time, and learning from the bands that you like to listen to. Like that's teaching yourself through listening to something that you think is great.
And we would do this thing where we would basically do the very Sonic Youthy kind of like freak out, like psychedelic kind of things. We would go, all three of us would just like start playing our own song basically.
Exactly. Like
we would just chaos. Go for like 7, and that, in fact, Period 3 is a reference to chaos theory.
Chaos theory, yep.
And then a system hits a period of 3, it oftentimes it signifies that it's a chaotic system. So
you guys went to a good college. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, that was all my own kind of personal edification stuff. But I've always been a super nerd. But anyway, the point is, we just do these soundscape things. We would just like freak out, and then suddenly, boom, we'd slap right back together. We'd just be looking at each other, and we'd
like
come right back into the song, and it's like, holy shit.
It was incredible. It was like, I can't believe we just pulled that off. And we recorded, remember, James, on that 2-track reel to reel, which to this day, I think is one of, like, Mark, you were talking about how great the 4-track recording sounded.
For a 4-track recording, it sounded great.
What we were able to do with an ancient 2-track, I think, came out higher fidelity.
Yeah. There's some great sounding stuff from that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, that was, we were in that whole thing, this evolution out of like the Velocity Girl, shoegazy into this math rocky, like keeping, like, you're earning your stripes as you go along in a band or bands. To get to Chicago, we move here. Mary Nacy, that's our girl. She was the one. She is a force here in Chicago. She is just an amazing entrepreneur. Yeah, she and a person that connected a lot of musicians together. And James already knew like the Sweep guys and the Lester King guys, and like they all like getting here, and then like suddenly we were just in that circle, and opportunities like presented themselves. Like,
it was a bigger pond. You had talked about getting to the bigger pond.
Bigger
and a much more serious. One of the things I think, Sue, you totally nailed it with this. Like, I think I wouldn't even have thought of it at the time, but we were constantly pushing ourselves to like achieve new levels of greatness. Like we weren't satisfied in some sense with like just being in a band and just doing whatever, playing in a garage or something. Like we wanted to play shows. We wanted to play. We wanted,
exactly. Ambition guided us.
Yeah, I didn't realize how ambitious we were, but I guess we were. I mean, the whole reason to this day when I think about it, like largely the reason I moved to Chicago was not just because you moved there and you and Mary convinced me to move out, but because because I wanted to play music and I wanted to like do something real. Like I felt like you said somehow, and just Philly wasn't working.
It just did not have this ecosystem that Chicago had, like where you could come in from whatever genre you were at and find a home and find other people. And and that's the thing. Like we didn't have jobs. Like people thought we were crazy. They're like, just what are you doing? We're going to be in bands. And you know what, Mark? We made that happen.
You got jobs, but you didn't go up there with any
jobs.
But that's what I'm saying. You didn't go up there like, oh, I got a great opportunity to be a barista in Chicago.
Yeah. No, neither. Exactly. We moved there because we wanted to play music. The jobs would come. We'd figure out a way to pay rent.
That was the whole thing. Exactly. Like it just, we're so lucky to be Gen X like this. I don't know if young people could do what we did today. No, like just the cost of everything.
But also, we can't do what we do today. Well, at our age, 30-something years later, it was easy in your 20s to go, I'm going to Chicago, and I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with my life, but I'm going to Chicago. And you just did it because you were 25, and you just did it. And now, I'm in my mid-50s, I'm like, there's a mortgage somewhere I have to pay. I don't remember how that works out. But, so it's a different thing. Yay!
Yay!
So we moved to Chicago.
So
but we didn't start playing music. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, did Period 3 put anything out physical?
No.
We had that one recording that we made.
We made a recording with the 2-track, and it was just like, for us, I think it was just sort of like, just like our time to get together and rehearse and practice. Like we'd hoped about shows, but I also think about at that point in time, like we're like 2 years post-graduation or going on 2 years post-graduation. And there's sort of this feeling because our friends that we were playing with, and they were 2 years younger than us, they were getting ready to graduate. There was this moment, this shift in this moment, like we kind of felt like, okay, things are changing, and and the change isn't going to happen here. Like we're all going to be moving in different directions. And that's kind of what happened. I don't even think there was a meeting or a consensus or anything like that. It was just sort of like where everybody wants to go. Like now's the time. So yeah, we took the leap. We moved out to Chicago. James was the first person to get into bands in Chicago.
I was wondering if that. Yeah, I couldn't remember the order of things.
Yeah, you and so yeah, we met Jay Danderand, or you knew the Sweet guys and the Lester King guys much
They had
better than
stayed
I
with
did.
me. I lived above Repo Records in
That's
Bryn
right.
Mawr with Jeannie McCabe,
That's
and
right.
our apartment was like band central. Like bands would come through, play Philadelphia, and they'd come stay at our place. They'd crash on the floor or whatever, you know. And so yeah, one night, the night before a show, we got like a phone call, must have been from Ellen Bruno actually, saying, "Oh, this guy Super Like Johnny are going to be playing, you know, at like upstairs at Nick's or something, you know, tomorrow night, and they're great. You should go see them. Let them stay at your place. Yada yada yada." So they stayed at our place. We had a great time together, and then basically every time they came through town, they'd stay there. And then other folks from Chicago that were coming through town that needed a place would contact us, you know. And so then I met these two bands in particular, Super Leg Johnny and Lester King, and the dudes in those bands. And that's how the Chicago connection even got forged in the first place, was that we were hosting bands coming through town. But so I must. But Jay was not in Lester King at that time. It was a different drummer.
I think that was.
His name I can't remember.
Do I want to say Bob Log 3? That's not right. Or I can't remember who it was, but yeah. So that was Money Shot. Money Shot, yeah. Jay came on for Shoot the Messenger.
Right.
And oh gosh, Jay Dannerad, what a drummer.
Holy moly, what a crazy man.
He was a drummer in Lupine.
Now, John was a crazy drummer.
He was.
But Jay was an insane drummer.
Over the top drummer. I mean, he was as good as any of them here. Like as good as a Johnny Herndon or John McIntyre or Noah or any of these guys. Like he played with such incredible passion. Like you wanted to bottle it up, and bottles was a bit of a problem, but anyway, so moving along. James got into bands before I did. In fact, he played with Jay, and you because you also brought the vibraphone.
Oh right, I had a vibraphone.
And you played trumpet in La Maquita Soma, which was great. That was such a fun show.
That was King.
King, you played. Oh, King played the trumpet.
I played the vibes,
that's right.
And a backup guitar on a few tracks, and maracas.
Okay. And maracas.
I always loved percussion.
But yeah, James was like the first one that like got work. Here, like gigging. Yeah, well, it is. Like you started gigging, and it was like awesome. It was like great. And then one day. I'm sitting at home and I get a call from Steve Sostak from Sweep. He's like, "Hey Sue, there's this band Sarge. They need a second guitarist like right away. Like they leave for tour in like 3.5 weeks. Are you interested?" And I didn't know the band. I'd never heard the band. I was like, "Sure, great. That's why I'm here." And yes. Had a quick phone call interview with Elizabeth, and she's like, "Come to my apartment, wherever. Let's, and gave me CDs and whatever." And I practiced my ass off, and we practiced and rehearsed. And like 3.5 weeks later, I'm on a whatever. I don't even know how many cities, 30-something city tour through the United States. My first U.S. tour, and oh wow, how incredible that was!
And I've seen Sarge play at least twice in my life.
Yeah, Sarge was great. I mean, Elizabeth was great. I mean, I think wasn't she on like
Elizabeth is
Spin magazine or something like that?
Yeah, it was hot. Like that was They were just named Rolling Stones hot band. There was like a blurb in it, in Rolling Stone, like that, like it had just hit the presses, and like so there's like a ton of buzz around the band. Like they got named hot band. Which helped a lot, which got us shows, which got us, doors opened into playing bigger venues. Getting to open up for like Jimmy Eat World, for example, like that was, we're playing like 1,000 people venues. Like it just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was an incredible time of my life, like achieving this goal, like
Right.
keep
That's you
pushing
went to
forward.
Chicago for this, and this is happening.
You manifest, you manifest your destiny, but it's also a lot of work. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like there's no substitute for sitting down and practicing and practicing and practicing. And just getting used to the fact that practice is the key component to anything you're going to create. So yeah, you can't, nothing is through osmosis. It's work.
So Sue was ultimately much more successful than I was. I never went on tour or anything. I was in bands, but that I was always envious, actually.
I was envious of you, James.
I was envious of both of you.
Oh. I mean, my thing. I wound up getting a job, and I became like a professional. So at some point, like the touring thing was sort of like, I can't really do that. I can't get like a month off of my job. So I sort of lost that opportunity.
But the skills that you picked up, James, through all these things that you learned because you came to Chicago and you got your job with RCN, I think at the time,
Anorax was the first one. Yeah.
But like you learned all this coding, you learned all of this, just so much
stuff. Yeah, all the digital stuff. Yeah,
and our archivist, like if any of the stuff from all the way back from Mary Jane's till whatever, like. You had the copies and you were able to, you preserved it and you put it out there, which is just such an incredible gift, especially to anybody from Conshohocken, like the whole Conchi crowd, like the couple of years after graduation, we spent just experimenting with music, just rehearsing and pissing off all the neighbors in Conshohocken.
Then you did it right.
But yeah, we did. We had a good time, and it was just like it was a lot of freedom and creativity, and just to have that time when you're young. It's incredible and it's so formative.
That being said, we are all still musicians.
We are.
So before we wrap things up, let's talk about what you're doing now. James, you are in the Truth Tables.
Yeah. Well, it's always tough trying to explain the name. There's been a whole evolution of the name. It's James Bontempo and Truth Tables.
Oh, so it isn't even the Truth Tables. It's and Truth Tables.
In fact, originally it was just Truth Tables. There was a band called Truth Tables. And then that band was around for not even that long, maybe a year. We played a bunch of shows, not a bunch. We played a few shows here in Baltimore. And then that kind of fell apart. And so then I started playing under my own name, just James Bontempo. And then, I guess it was 3 years ago now. Has it actually been 3 years? My memory is terrible. But I basically got an email one day from a booker at a club saying, hey, you want to play opening for this band that's coming through town from Nashville. It's this band called Top House. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh, maybe I should put together a little band for this thing. So my friend Steve, with whom I recorded a whole bunch of like little EPs, he's a bass player, and I roped him into playing bass. And I had met this guy online, Randy, who plays drums, and he was always like, hey, if you ever want someone to play drums, let me know. So I got him to join us. And a few weeks before the show, we learned a bunch of my songs. And so then now it was no longer James Bontempo. It was no longer Truth Tables. I decided to go with James Bontempo and Truth Tables. It's got sort of like a Edie Brickell and New Bohemians kind of feel to it,
Some alliteration in there as well. The T are alliterating the T's. So.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I like, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, that kind of thing. Anyway, so James Bontempo and Truth Tables. we played that show, and then the next thing you knew, we had like 10 shows like within the next year, all in Baltimore. I mean, we never played anywhere but Baltimore.
No, you played Frederick. I saw you in
We
Frederick.
did. We've played in Frederick twice. Actually, those are our best shows too. Like
That was a good show.
we played in Frederick again this last fall, and it was fantastic. People love us there. I don't know what it is.
Your style that you're doing now kind of lends itself to that bohemian lifestyle that Frederick kind of wants to exude, whether it succeeds or not. I'm actually very fortunate that I've seen both of you play live in this band, Julie Trend, and in other projects you've done, that I've known you for so long that I've seen you in other projects as well. And so you have a project that you're currently working on. Actually, you have a new CD out with Dark Fog.
I do. Yes, I'm back in Dark Fog.
It's like you never left.
It is. Ray Donato. He is the leader of Dark Fog. I joined Dark Fog way back in 2006 playing bass. I played for maybe a year and a half, and then I was unceremoniously dismissed. That's okay. You know what had happened was all three of the dudes in the band, all of their wives got pregnant within about 3 weeks of each other. So there was it was kind of a really just crazy time of babies are on the way. Yeah. And yeah. So yeah, just kind of heightened pressure and like, where's this going to go? They got to be dads. But at any rate, Ray and I have reconnected through the years, and certainly this, our new CD, we're also available on Bandcamp. Skies Are Black. It's just the two of us, and we use a Zoom pedal for our drum beats and loops. And we have a show coming up May 5th at Cafe Mustache here in Chicago. Opening is Hands of Hydra, some fantastic electric sitar. Our friend Adam Krakow. So we're super excited about that. It's also my birthday. So there'll be cupcakes. Thank you. There will be cupcakes.
It's funny. I'm going to leave the date in, but this probably won't be out for like 2 months.
Leave it in. Too late.
Too late to see them then, but you can see them in the future. And of course,
I'm sure you'll play again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's the whole thing. Like now we gotta do the hustle. And it's kind of like starting from scratch in a weird way. It's like, what's the goal? Empty Bottle. What's the goal?
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping Village. What's the goal? Liars Club. Just try to book shows, meet people, get back out there, because I've been dormant. Like obviously COVID happened and everything, and
everyone went dormant.
Everybody went dormant, and I wasn't in the mood to be in a band, I guess. I thought I would just do solo stuff. Like I just wrote lots of acoustic songs, just practicing acoustic, but it's just not as fulfilling. It's just so much more fulfilling to work as a team.
Collaboration.
Absolutely.
Because you have an idea and someone's going to expand on it, or they have an idea and you're going to expand. I love collaboration. Exactly.
You just get, I think, far better results in a team environment, and especially like-minded persons like Ray and I love My Bloody Valentine, like all the shoegaze Ride and another Ride person, and then he's like far more into a lot of like psych and like stuff like that I'm not as familiar with, but I get to be like meat and potatoes bass with these drum tracks, which are so precise, and the drummer never ever is out of time.
He's always on time.
Always on time, and in a weird way, it's so precise that like listening back to what we did, like sometimes I kind of feel a little woozy, like listening back to it, because the drums are so precise and we're not, and it all the space in between there. It's kind of cool to be like, oh wow, it started this way and then it just left turned over there. So it's so much fun. I'm having the best time, and we are definitely just so excited to get back out here in Chicago and play shows and hopefully melt your faces off.
And beyond Chicago.
And what,
Come on
that
down.
too.
Come on down to Baltimore. James and I need
we could
something to
do-
watch.
Yeah. Well, we could play together.
That's true. We can do a show. We got to. We could put it all together. Oh yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Or we can come to Chicago.
That's another option.
Yeah, but I don't live near Chicago. I live near Baltimore.
That's right.
You
right.
can
That
come to
wouldn't help
Chicago.
you.
I got a guest room. I got a futon. I'm like Harrisburg here. I got 3 futons, 2 couches.
You got cats though, not a pig.
I got 3 kitty cats. This is Zara. Yeah, she hears me talking. Anyway.
Thank you so much for being on this podcast with me. You guys are fantastic. And I know it took 3 years to make it happen. So here's the thing. When I first started this podcast, I had 2 bands that I immediately thought of because they were friends of mine. And I'd be like, well, I can ask them and I can at least get my feet wet because I don't know. I still don't know what I'm doing. But it's back then it was like I don't have any idea what I'm doing. So I asked my friend Eric, who I've been in a couple bands with, and he's in a band called The Mostly Dead, DC Hardcore, and they were my second episode. And then I asked Sue, and I didn't hear from you for like a year. No, that's not true. I asked Sue, and she's like, let me think about this. And then eventually said, if you can get James to do it, I might do it. And I was like, okay, well, now I'm on a mission. So I really appreciate you guys coming on the show and sharing these stories. Fantastic. And, of course, I've been a fan for the last 3+ decades. So I really, really enjoy you guys being on the show. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Mark. Thank you for having us. Thank you for being a fan, supporting us all this time. That's awesome.
Not a problem.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun.
Yep. I'll talk to you guys later.
Sounds great.
All right.
Take care, everybody. Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that just about wraps it up for this episode of Cutouts. I would like to thank James and Sue for being on the show and talking about a band that they haven't been in for 3 decades. I would also like to thank you, the listener, for being a part of my community and being a part of what I do. I'd also like to thank Craig and Brendan and Brian for being pseudo-producers, and I'm always running ideas off those guys. They don't get back to me as often as they used to, but they get back eventually. I'd also like to thank Jody for the artwork and Stacy for the web hosting and my beautiful bride, Megan, for just putting up with this. I can't believe we've been doing this for over 3 years, but she still hasn't given me any lip about it, so good for me, I guess. If you'd like to follow what I'm doing, you can do so on Instagram. I'm at Cutouts Podcast. You can also support this show by going to patreon.com/cutoutspodcast and helping me buy the records that I have on this show. You can also send me pictures of sunsets that you've taken in Waikiki. That's at cutoutspodcast@gmail.com. And with that, good night, everybody.
I was looking for an exacto knife. They took 3 people to find it. Then I get up on manslaughter. Who murdered my husband? What is this? something at the customer service desk?